Have you ever walked into a grocery store in an English-speaking country and just, well, frozen? You know that feeling, right? The labels are all a bit confusing, you're not quite sure how to ask for help, and suddenly a simple trip for some milk feels like a really stressful test. Well, today we're going to change all of that. We're going to turn that grocery store into your own personal gym for building some serious English confidence. So here's our roadmap. First, we'll get our mindset right, then we'll stock up on all the key words you need to know. After that, we'll practice some simple conversations, and then we are going to absolutely nail the checkout process. And to wrap it all up, I've got a little mission for you to put it all into practice. Let's do this.
All right, part 1, your confident shopping trip. This is all about shifting from feeling anxious to feeling empowered.
I mean, does this sound familiar? If you've ever felt this way, trust me, you are not alone. It's such a classic challenge for language learners, and that's because the grocery store, well, it has its own secret language, one you're definitely not going to find in a textbook. But that's exactly what we're going to fix today.
And you know, this is the real secret right here. This isn't just about buying food. It's about getting real communication power for your actual everyday life. Think about it. When you can handle a shopping trip all by yourself, you feel so much more independent, so much more capable. This is where English stops being some subject you study and starts just being your life.
So, let's start building that foundation. Part 2, vocabulary on the shelves. These are the absolute building blocks, the words you're going to see and use every single time you go shopping. Let's master them. Let's kick things off with maybe the most important word for finding anything, aisle. Okay, here's the trick. That S is totally silent. It's a weird one, I know. It sounds just like aisle, as in I'll go find the cereal. Once you know that, you'll start noticing those big signs hanging from the ceiling. Those are your map, your guide to the entire store.
Next up, something that trips a lot of people up. Cart versus basket. It's actually super simple. A cart is the big one, with wheels that you push when you're buying a ton of stuff. A basket is just that small one you carry for a few things. You know, a little pro tip, even if you think you just need a basket, maybe grab a cart. You always end up buying more than you planned, right?
Okay, let's talk about everybody's favorite subject, saving money. You're going to see these words on price tags everywhere. BOGO is a huge one. It just means buy one, get one free. 2 for 1 is basically the exact same deal. And if something says on sale or has a discount, it just means, hey, today it's keeper. So keep your eyes peeled for those. Now, food is usually sold in one of 3 ways. Fresh is the stuff that hasn't been preserved. You know, like apples in the produce section or warm bread from the bakery. Frozen food, well, that's in the freezer aisles. Think pizzas, ice cream, and canned food is sealed up in metal cans, like soup or beans, so it can sit in your pantry for a long, long time. Okay, listen up, because this one is critical for your health. The expiration date. Sometimes it says best before. This little date tells you when a product is no longer fresh or safe to eat. Seriously, always check this on things like milk, yogurt, and meat. Just make it a habit every single time you pick something up. Okay, you've got the keywords down. Now, let's actually put them to use. Welcome to part 3, conversations in the aisles. This is where we go from just reading the signs to actually talking to people. If you only learn one single phrase from our entire chat today, please make it this one. This is your magic key to unlock the whole store. Excuse me, where can I find the, and then you just say what you're looking for. It is polite, it's crystal clear, and it works 100% of the time to get help. Burn this one into your brain.
And once you're feeling good about that, you can add these to your toolbox. If you're not sure about a price, a simple, "Is this on sale?" works great. And here's a real pro-level question. If the shelf is empty, ask, "Are there any more in the back?" Sometimes they have more stock hidden away. And of course, if you're ever just totally lost, "Can I get some help?" is your go-to.
So, you've asked the question. Now what? How do you actually understand the answer? Okay, don't panic. Listen closely, because an employee will almost always give you 3 key pieces of information. They'll give you a location, like aisle 7, a position, like on the right, and a landmark, over by the dairy section. If you just listen for those 3 clues, the answer becomes way easier to figure out.
Let's see this in action. You walk up and say, "Excuse me, do you have any coconut milk?" They answer, "Yes, it's in aisle 9, near the International Foods." And you say, "Thank you." That's it. Look at that. A perfect, simple, totally successful conversation in English. See? It's not nearly as scary as you might think.
All right, your cart's full, you found everything you needed. It is time for the final level, the checkout counter. Now, I know for a lot of people, this is the most stressful part, but I promise you, it's actually the most predictable.
The whole thing almost always kicks off just like this. And here's a huge cultural tip. When a cashier in the US or Canada asks, "How are you?" it's really just another way of saying hello. You don't need to give them your life story. A simple, "I'm good, thanks. How are you?" is the absolute perfect, friendly reply.
Okay, get ready, because you are almost guaranteed to be asked at least one of these 3 questions. Paper or plastic? That's about the kind of bag you want. Do you have a loyalty card? They're asking if you're part of the store's discount program. And would you like a receipt is just about the little paper proof of purchase. Just having your answer ready makes this part a breeze.
The payment part is like a little play that follows the same script every time. The cashier will say the total. That'll be $22.45. You say how you're paying. I'll use my card. Then they might ask, "Debit or credit?" And you just answer, "Credit, please." It's that same little back and forth every single time you shop.
And now for the grand finale. The cashier will almost always say something nice, like, "Have a great day." And the classic, perfect, easiest friendly response is simply, "Thanks, you too." It's just a great way to end the conversation and walk out of there feeling totally confident. Which brings us to our final and honestly, our most important section, your real-life English mission. We are going to totally change the way you think about this weekly chore. From now on, the grocery store isn't a place of stress. It is your personal English practice lab.
Here's your 3-step plan for fluency. First, before you go, create a mini mission. Pick just one new phrase you learned today that you want to try. Step 2, practice at home. I know it feels silly, but say it out loud in front of a mirror. It really builds muscle memory. And step 3, this is the most important part. After you get home, just take 30 seconds and think, how did it go? That simple cycle, prepare, act, reflect, that is the engine of learning a language.
And this is the main idea I really want you to take with you. You're not just buying groceries anymore. You are actively building something way more important: your fluency, your confidence, and your power to live your life in English. Every single trip is an opportunity. Don't waste it. So I'm going to leave you with a challenge right now. Decide on one thing. What is the one English phrase? Maybe it's, "Are there any more in the back?" Or maybe it's just a simple, "Thanks, you too." What's the one phrase you are going to use on your very next trip to the store? Pick one, commit to it. You have totally got this. Thanks for joining me today.